If you've been struggling with belly bloat that won't go away, no matter what you do, I need you to listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because you might think it's just weight. You might think it's from overeating or lack of exercise, but I'm about to show you something that most doctors won't tell you, something that changes everything about how you approach this problem. Here's what's actually happening. That stubborn pouch around your midsection, that puffiness you carry even when you're careful with your diet, a lot of that isn't just body fat. It's something much more specific. It's your liver getting filled with fat, and your body is literally trying to tell you about it the only way it knows how. Now, I know that sounds serious, but here's the good news, and this is the part that's genuinely remarkable. Your liver is actually the fastest part of your body to shed fat. When you know what to do, we're not talking about months of struggle. We're talking about 6 days. In one study published by leading researchers, people with fatty livers changed their eating for just 6 days. And when they measured their livers using MRI before and after, the fat had dropped by 31%. That's nearly a third of the fat gone in less than a week. But here's where most people fail. They try to lose weight, they cut calories, they hit the gym, and guess what happens? The fat comes right back. Because they're treating this like it's a weight problem. It's not. It's a liver problem. And to fix your liver, you have to know exactly what to stop eating, and more importantly, what to eat instead. By the end of this video, you're going to have a complete meal plan, day by day, meal by meal. Specific foods, exact portions. You'll know what to buy at the grocery store. You'll know what to order at restaurants. And you'll understand why this works so well that at day 2, you might already notice your jeans fitting differently. So stay with me, because the next 6 days could genuinely change how you feel. Let me ask you something. When you go to your doctor and you say, I'm carrying extra weight around my middle, what do they usually tell you? Exercise more, eat less, cut the fat from your diet, right? It's the same advice everyone gets. And it sounds reasonable, except there's one huge problem with it. It's not actually addressing what's happening inside your body. Here's what I need you to understand. Your liver is an incredibly smart organ. It's basically your body's chemical factory. Every single thing you eat, every nutrient, every calorie, it all flows through your liver first. Your liver processes it, decides what to do with it, and then distributes it throughout your body. But there's one particular thing that your liver has to handle, and unlike everything else, your liver has to handle it alone. That thing is fructose. You've probably heard of fructose. You know it as fruit sugar. And most people think, oh, fructose is natural, fruit is healthy, so fructose must be fine. But here's where the real story gets interesting. Fructose is the only sugar that your liver can directly metabolize. When you eat glucose, regular sugar, the kind in bread, rice, pasta, every cell in your body can break it down and use it for energy. Your muscles take some, your brain takes some, your fat cells take some. The workload is distributed, but fructose, your liver gets stuck with all of it, 100%. And when you're consuming a lot of fructose, which by the way is in far more foods than you realize, your liver is working overtime. It's converting fructose into fat. And where does a lot of that fat end up? Right back in your liver itself. That's fatty liver disease in a nutshell. Now, here's what's wild. We've been told for 40 years to avoid fat. The food pyramid told us to eat more carbohydrates, juice instead of soda, whole wheat instead of white bread, cereals and crackers and pasta. All of it seemed healthy. All of it was supposed to be better than eating red meat and butter. But those foods, especially the refined versions, they're loaded with something called high fructose corn syrup or just plain sugar. And that's what's filling your liver with fat. The problem doesn't stop there though. When your liver starts getting overwhelmed with all this fructose and fat, your body develops something called insulin resistance. Your pancreas, the organ that makes insulin, it's trying to keep up. It starts flooding your body with more and more insulin, just trying to manage all the sugar coming in. And here's the part that affects your waistline directly. Excess insulin tells your body to store fat, especially in your liver, especially in your belly. So now you've got this vicious cycle. You eat refined carbs with lots of fructose. Your liver fills with fat. Your body produces more insulin. More insulin tells your body to store more fat. And the whole time, your doctor is telling you to eat fewer calories, and exercise more. But that's treating the symptom, not the cause. This is why I said earlier that your liver will shed fat the fastest of any part of your body. Because once you stop feeding it the thing that's damaging it, once you stop the fructose, your liver can actually recover remarkably quickly. It's not like scar tissue building up in your heart or your joints. Your liver is metabolically active. It's ready to heal. It just needs you to stop doing the thing that's hurting it. Now, before we get into exactly what to eat, I need you to know something else. Some of you watching this might not even know you have a fatty liver. Because here's the frustrating part. Most people don't feel anything. You don't wake up and think, my liver hurts. It's silent. But there are signs. 3 simple ones that are actually visible on your body right now. If you have a protruding belly, especially the kind that sits low and hard, not soft like general weight, that's often visceral fat. And visceral fat is a sign your liver is probably filling with fat too. If you look in the mirror and the back of your neck looks darker or feels thickened, or if your armpits or groin area have darkened, velvety feeling skin, or if you're developing skin tags, those are all signs of high insulin. And high insulin means your liver is probably storing fat. Your body is literally trying to send you a message. And the good news is you can listen to it and act on it right now. Here's something that might surprise you. The people who end up in the worst trouble with fatty liver disease aren't always the ones who look the heaviest. I've seen people who are relatively thin but carry their weight around the middle, that classic skinny fat look, and they have severe fatty liver. Meanwhile, I've seen heavier people whose livers are relatively clean. So it's not just about how much you weigh, it's about where your body is storing fat and why. And that comes back to insulin. Think of insulin like a storage signal. When your blood sugar spikes, your pancreas releases insulin to bring it back down. But insulin does more than manage blood sugar. It tells your cells, store this as fat. It's actually doing its job. The problem is when your insulin is constantly elevated, when it's always sending that storage signal. This is what happens with refined carbohydrates and fructose. You eat a bowl of cereal or drink some juice or grab a bagel. Your blood sugar shoots up. Your pancreas pumps out insulin. Your blood sugar comes back down. But an hour later, you're hungry again because your insulin spiked so fast that it crashed just as fast. So you eat again. Your insulin spikes again. And this happens all day, every single day. After months and years of this, your cells start ignoring the insulin signal. They become resistant to it. Your pancreas has to make even more insulin just to have any effect at all. Now your body is flooded with insulin constantly. And all that insulin is telling your liver, especially, to store fat. Your liver is literally being forced to accumulate fat because your insulin levels won't stop. The really concerning part, and I want you to take this seriously because it matters, is that the same inflammation that's happening in your liver is also happening in your arteries. This isn't just a cosmetic problem or a discomfort problem. The refined carbohydrates and sugars that are damaging your liver are also damaging your cardiovascular system. Research shows that people with fatty liver disease don't usually die from liver failure. They die from heart attacks and strokes. The inflammation is systemic. It's affecting your entire body. But here's where it gets hopeful again. Because once you stop feeding your liver that specific fuel, once you cut out the fructose and the refined carbs, the insulin levels start dropping within days. And as your insulin comes down, the inflammation starts reducing. Your liver can start healing. And as that happens, something remarkable occurs in the rest of your body too. People start calling me and saying, my blood pressure is coming down and I haven't even lost weight yet. Others say, my energy is through the roof. I don't need that afternoon coffee anymore. Some say their sleep apnea improves, their joints hurt less, their skin clears up. One woman told me her brain fog lifted so dramatically that she felt like she'd woken up from a 10-year fog. These aren't coincidences. They're all connected to reducing that systemic inflammation. Now, I mentioned earlier that there are ways to know if you have a fatty liver without getting an MRI or ultrasound. Let me break those down for you, because if you recognize yourself in any of these, this meal plan is going to be transformative for you. The first one is obvious, belly fat. But not all belly fat is the same. If you have what's called visceral fat, it sits deep and it feels firm. It's the kind that makes your belly protrude even when the rest of your body is relatively lean. That visceral fat and liver fat are connected. They tend to accumulate together. So if you have that specific type of belly, your liver is probably storing fat too. The second sign is something most people don't connect to liver health at all. Look at the back of your neck. Seriously, go look in a mirror right now. If the skin on the back of your neck looks darker than the rest of your skin, or if it feels thick and velvety, like it's almost leathery, that's a sign. Same thing if your armpits or your groin area have darkened skin with that velvety texture. That's called acanthosis nigricans, and it's a direct indicator of high insulin levels. When your insulin is chronically elevated, your skin cells respond by thickening and darkening in certain areas. The third sign is skin tags, little flesh-colored tags that appear around your neck, your underarms, your groin. Again, high insulin. Your skin cells are reacting to all that circulating insulin. If you have any of these three things, your body is telling you that your insulin is too high and your liver is probably storing fat. And the beautiful part? All three of these things start reversing within days of changing what you eat. There was a study I mentioned, the one where people dropped 31% of their liver fat in 6 days. Let me tell you more about what actually happened in that study, because the details matter. Researchers took people with confirmed fatty liver disease. They put them on a very specific diet for less than a week. They measured their livers with an MRI before they started and right after they finished. The results weren't just good, they were remarkable. 31% reduction, on average. Some people did even better. But here's the critical part that doctors often miss when they're just telling you to lose weight. The people in that study didn't lose a ton of weight. That's not the point. The liver fat came off disproportionately fast, independent of total body weight loss. Because this isn't about calories, it's about what you're eating. There's another study from researchers at UCSF that's even more telling. They took 41 kids with fatty liver. They kept their total calories exactly the same, not less, not more. But they made one change. They swapped out fructose for starch. Starch is mainly glucose, remember. Glucose that all their cells can use, not just their livers. 9 days later, using an MRI to measure, the liver fat had dropped by almost 50% in 9 days, without changing the total calories, without forcing the kids to eat less, just by changing the type of carbohydrate. This is the key insight that changes everything. This isn't about willpower. This isn't about eating less. This is about eating the right things. Now, something else happens when you do this correctly. Because your body has been running on a constant sugar and insulin roller coaster for years, probably decades. The first thing people notice is how much better they feel almost immediately. That fatigue you've been carrying around, gone within 48 hours for most people. That afternoon energy crash disappears. The brain fog that you'd almost forgotten wasn't normal clears up. You stop feeling like you're constantly hungry because your blood sugar isn't spiking and crashing anymore. And then there's the physical change. By day 2 or 3, you might notice your jeans fitting differently. Not because you've lost a huge amount of weight, but because the bloating is gone. Your body isn't retaining as much water. Your digestion is working better. You feel lighter. By day 6, when you measure your waist, and I'm going to ask you to do this in just a moment, you should see at least a 2-inch reduction. Some people see more. And that's real fat loss, especially liver fat, combined with reduced inflammation and water retention. But the key is understanding why this works and what you're actually doing to your body. Because once you understand the mechanism, once you see how your body responds, you'll never go back to the old way of eating. You'll understand it at a fundamental level. Okay, so now you understand the problem and why it exists. The question is, what do you actually do about it? I'm going to give you 4 specific things. This is the protocol. This is what makes the difference. Number 1, reduce your carbohydrates below 20 grams per day. I know that sounds dramatic, and for some of you it might feel impossible at first. But stay with me, because this isn't a forever thing. This is a reset. You're giving your liver a break from the constant fructose and sugar input. You're letting your insulin levels normalize. You're creating an environment where your liver can actually heal. 20 grams of carbs per day sounds like nothing until you understand what that actually means in real food. 20 grams is roughly equivalent to 2 slices of whole wheat bread, or 1 medium bowl of pasta, or 3 small potatoes, or 1 large glass of juice. See how quickly that adds up? But it's also not as restrictive as it sounds when you know what to eat. What doesn't have carbs? Meat, fish, eggs, cheese, butter. oils, nuts in moderation, vegetables, but specifically the non-starchy ones. Leafy greens have almost no carbs. Broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, bell peppers, asparagus, these are your friends. You can eat a huge volume of these foods and stay well under 20 grams of carbs for the day. The reason this is so powerful is that you're essentially removing the primary fuel that's causing your liver to store fat. No fructose means your liver isn't being forced to convert sugar to fat. No refined carbs means your blood sugar stays stable. Your insulin stays low. Your body stops getting the constant storage signal. And without that signal, your liver can finally start releasing the fat it's been hoarding. Now, here's where most people make a mistake. They think, okay, I'll just eat salad for 6 days. And then they're miserable. They're hungry. They're thinking about bread. They're fantasizing about pasta. And by day 3, they've quit. This doesn't work because restriction alone never works long term. You have to actually enjoy what you're eating. Number 2, 3 egg yolks every single day. This is non-negotiable. And here's why. Egg yolks contain something called choline. Choline is a nutrient that your body uses to transport fat out of your liver. Think of choline as a delivery truck. Your liver is producing fat. That's natural. That's what livers do. But choline helps package that fat and move it out of your liver so it can be used for energy or stored elsewhere in your body that's less harmful. When you don't have enough choline, fat accumulates in your liver because it has nowhere to go. When you have plenty of choline, that fat gets cleared out. One study showed that people who increased their choline intake had dramatically faster liver fat reduction compared to people who didn't. 3 egg yolks a day is roughly 150 milligrams of choline. That's the amount shown in research to make a real difference. And here's the thing, you want the yolks, not just the whites. The yolk is where the choline is. The white is mostly just protein. I would recommend eating the whole egg. The white is great protein and it makes the meal more satisfying. But if you're trying to minimize carbs and you want to be precise, the yolks are what matter. 3 eggs at breakfast is perfect. Or if you want to space them out, you could have 3 eggs at lunch instead. The timing isn't as critical as just getting them in your body every day. Number 3, 1 organic coffee per day. Now, a lot of people are surprised when I tell them coffee is actually helpful for your liver. There's a massive study that followed over 200,000 people. Coffee drinkers versus non-coffee drinkers. And the people who drank coffee had a 46% lower risk of dying from chronic liver disease. That's a massive difference, 46%. That's not a small effect. Why? The polyphenols in coffee. Polyphenols are plant-based chemicals with powerful anti-inflammatory properties. When your liver is inflamed, and fatty liver always involves some level of inflammation, coffee is actually protective. But here's what matters. Don't add sugar. Don't add honey. Don't add flavored syrups. You can add cream. You can add a little milk. But the coffee itself, black or with cream, is what has the benefit. If you're currently drinking a frappuccino or a fancy latte loaded with syrup, that's actually working against you because of all the sugar. 1 cup a day is what I'd recommend. I personally drink organic coffee because conventional coffee has a lot of pesticide residue. The polyphenols are doing their job whether it's organic or not, but if you can get organic, it's cleaner. 1 cup in the morning, and you're getting a real protective benefit for your liver. Number 4, a 20-minute walk every single day. This is the part that surprises most people. Researchers from Penn State pulled 14 different studies, looking at over 500 patients. Everyone had MRIs measuring their liver fat before and after. The people who walked regularly reduced their liver fat by 30% on average. 30%. Without any significant weight loss, without extreme dietary restriction, just from walking. Here's what's happening. When you walk, especially at a moderate pace where you can still talk but you're a little bit out of breath, your muscles are using glucose for fuel. That glucose is coming from your bloodstream, not from your liver. Your liver isn't being forced to store everything as fat because your muscles are actually using the energy. Walking also improves insulin sensitivity. Your cells become more responsive to insulin, so you don't need as much of it circulating. And as your insulin drops, the storage signal in your body quiets down. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be intense. A 20-minute walk at a normal pace is all you need. Morning or evening doesn't matter. If you can get outside, That's even better. Sunlight has its own benefits for regulating your circadian rhythm and improving insulin sensitivity. But even a walk around your house or on a treadmill works. Now, let me put this together into an actual daily structure, because this is where the rubber meets the road. For the next 6 days, you're eating 2 meals per day, not 3, not snacks. 2 meals. This gives your digestive system and your liver a break between meals. Your insulin has time to come back down. You're not constantly signaling your body to store fat. Breakfast, or more accurately, your first meal, should happen around late morning or early lunch. This is when you eat your 3 eggs. You can have them with butter, salt, pepper. You can have them with cheese. You can have them with some sautéed spinach or mushrooms or peppers. Fill your plate with non-starchy vegetables. This meal should be satisfying and delicious. You're not trying to eat tiny portions. You're trying to eat real food that keeps you full. Your second meal comes in the evening, 6 to 8 hours later. This is where you have a protein: beef, fish, chicken, lamb, cooked in butter or oil. Again, fill your plate with non-starchy vegetables: roasted broccoli, sautéed zucchini, a big salad with olive oil and vinegar, some asparagus. You can add cheese, you can add nuts. You're eating satisfying, delicious food. The key is staying under 20 grams of carbs for the entire day. With 2 meals of primarily protein and non-starchy vegetables, this is actually quite easy. Most people don't realize how few carbs are in these foods. A huge pile of broccoli is like 3 grams of carbs. A ribeye steak is 0 carbs. An entire block of cheese is maybe 2 grams. You're not eating tiny portions. You're eating real meals. Now, here's where most people struggle: the first 2 days. Your body has been running on sugar and carbs for years. Your energy might dip slightly. You might have a mild headache. This is temporary. It's your body adjusting. By day 3, most people feel better than they have in years. That fatigue is gone. That brain fog lifts. Your energy stabilizes because your blood sugar isn't spiking and crashing anymore. Here's the practical part: what to buy at the grocery store: proteins, eggs, beef, chicken, fish, lamb, pork. Buy them however works for your budget. Frozen is fine. Canned fish is fine fats: butter, olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. These are your cooking mediums, and they're healthy. Vegetables: spinach, kale, lettuce, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, bell peppers, asparagus, green beans, mushrooms. Buy whatever looks good. Fill half your plate with these at each meal. Dairy, cheese, cream, full-fat yogurt if you want it. But watch the carbs on yogurt. Many brands add sugar, nuts, almonds, macadamia nuts, pecans. A small handful as a snack if needed, but be mindful of portions. Don't buy bread, pasta, rice, cereal, juice, soda, sugary snacks, most processed foods. These are the things keeping your liver fat. One more critical thing: the measurement challenge. I want you to take a tape measure right now and measure around your waist at the level of your belly button. Write down that number. This is your baseline. In 48 hours, measure again. You should see at least a ½ inch reduction. This is real. This is liver inflammation coming down and water retention dropping. At 72 hours, measure again. At 6 days, measure again. You should see at least a 2-inch reduction from your starting point. Many people see more. This is your proof. This is how you know it's working. And once you see this, once you feel this, once you understand that your body can respond this quickly to the right input, so you've done it. 6 days, you've eaten the right foods, you've taken your walks, you've measured your waist and watched it shrink. You can feel the difference in how your clothes fit. Your energy is different. Your digestion is better. Maybe your brain feels clearer. Maybe your sleep is better. Some of you might have noticed your blood pressure starting to come down or your energy more stable throughout the day. Now the question is, what happens next? This is where most people mess up. They finish the 6 days, they feel amazing, they think, okay, I've fixed this, I can go back to normal. And within 2 weeks, the weight is back, the bloating is back, the fatigue is back, because they didn't understand what they were actually doing. Here's the truth: 6 days isn't a permanent fix. It's a reset. It's proof that your body can heal this fast when you give it the right conditions. But your liver took years to fill with fat. The inflammation took years to build. You can't reverse all of that in 6 days and then go back to eating the way you were eating. But, and this is important, you also don't have to live on 20 grams of carbs forever. After day 6, you can gradually reintroduce carbohydrates. The key word is gradually, not all at once. not going back to your old habits. Gradually, think of it this way. You've just shown your body that it can heal when you remove the fructose and refined carbs. You've proven that your liver responds. Now you're going to find a sustainable level of carbs where your liver stays healthy, your insulin stays reasonable, and you can actually enjoy your life. You'll know if it's working because you'll feel it. And here's the best part. Most people, once they feel what it's like to have stable energy and a body that's responding well to what they're eating, they don't want to go back. They don't need willpower to stay away from the foods that were hurting them because they know, they've felt the difference. They've seen the proof on their own body. So start today or start tomorrow, but start. Give yourself 6 days. Give your liver 6 days to show you what it can do when you stop damaging it and start supporting it. Your liver has been waiting for this. Your body has been waiting for this. And you've been waiting for this too, even if you didn't know it. Let's go.